Good morning, children. Welcome to the physics class. Before we move on to the next topic, we will first of all do the recapitulation of whatever we have studied in the last week. The chapter which we are studying is physical quantities and measurement. So in this chapter, you have studied two physical quantities. The first one is density and the second one is relative density. So let's see what you have studied in density. Density of a substance determines the closely packing of the molecules in it. How the molecules are closely packed together within the given volume of a substance, right? So if you remember, we took the example of an iron block and a cotton block. Both had the same volume. Both were having 1 meter cube of space or occupying 1 meter cube of space. That means the volume was 1 meter cube. So equal volumes of these two substances, that is iron and copper, when weighed by beam balance, that means when you take out their mass, then what will you find? That their masses are different. That means equal volume of different substances have different masses. Okay? So definitely the mass of iron will be more than mass of cotton. Why? Because the particles of iron are more closely packed than that of cotton. If you remember the diagram, it had shown clearly that the molecules were very close to each other, and that is why that was a close structured body. That means the molecules were very close to each other, right? It was very compact. Therefore, we can say iron is denser than cotton. After that, we studied the density formula, which is mass upon volume, and its SI and CGS units. The SI unit is kilogram per meter cube and the CGS unit is gram per centimeter cube, and this is the relation between the two, that 1 gram per centimeter cube is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Or you can say that 1 kilogram per meter cube is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 gram per centimeter cube. You can write the relation between the two in this way also. So that was the concept and the definition of density, then the formula, and now comes the measurement part. You were taught that different methods about measurement of density of regular bodies and irregular bodies, right? So for measuring density of regular bodies, you simply have to know the dimensions so that you can find the volume, and mass you can measure from beam balance. You put the values in the formula and you can get your answer. But when you are given an irregular body, then there are certain techniques to find out the density. So one was displacement method and the second one was Eureka can method. In these two methods, what we have seen, if you remember, that the body which we took was heavier than water. That means it was completely immersed. It was able to sink inside water, right? It immerses completely in it. So you use, for such bodies, you use which two methods? Either you use displacement method or you use Eureka can method to find or to measure the density. But there are certain substances which are lighter than water. For example, cork, okay, or a plastic ball which is hollow from inside. So when you are given such bodies which are lighter than water, then you need to measure the density by using sinker method. That means you require a sinker. A sinker, what is a sinker? A sinker is a body or a substance which is heavier than water. So it basically helps the irregular body which is lighter than water to sink completely in it. And by measuring the water displaced, the volume of the water displaced, you can find out the density of these objects, right? Next was the density of liquid, measurement of density of liquid. There was a device called density bottle, and this device helps us to find the density of liquids, any liquid. This was taught in day 1, right? All this. Next day, you were taught about the relationship between the density and temperature. That means what happens to density of a substance when the temperature of the same substance is changed. As the temperature of a substance increases, the volume also increases. And what is this concept known as? This phenomenon on this concept is known as thermal expansion. Right? So thermal expansion happens. That means the substance will occupy more space, but the mass of the substance will remain constant. Right? So when volume will increase, it has been found that density will also increase. Okay? On the other hand, if you reduce the temperature, then the volume will decrease, mass again will remain constant, but it will cause density to decrease. So that was taught in this topic, which was explaining you the relationship between density and temperature. After that, we moved on to the next topic, relative density. Relative means you are finding density of a substance with respect to density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Why water at 4 degrees Celsius? Because the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is maximum, which is how much? 1 gram per centimeter cube or 1000 kilogram per meter cube at 4 degrees Celsius. So there comes the formula, density of a substance divided by density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Since relative density is a ratio of two like terms, therefore it has no unit. If the value of relative density is greater than 1, the object will sink in water. If the value is less than 1, then the object will float in water. However, it was also told to you that if density of a substance is greater than density of water, this is another factor which will decide the flotation and sinking of a substance. So if the density of substance is greater than density of water, the substance will always sink in water. And if density of a substance is less than density of water, then it will always float. So this is all these things we have done in the last week. The next video will explain you the applications of density and relative density in our day-to-day life, and the topic is flotation and sinking. Go through the topic very carefully, listen to each and every example very carefully, because you'll get questions from this particular topic only in the assignment.